In the murky rivers of Africa, an unspoken rule governs two of the continent's deadliest animals, the Nile crocodile, a prehistoric killing machine, and the hippopotamus, a surprisingly aggressive titan. For millions of years, they have shared these waterways, with a delicate balance of power keeping the peace. But what happens when that truce is shattered? They are essentially neighbors, locked in a permanent struggle for resources. Both require the same deep, slow-moving water to survive: the hippo to stay cool and protect its sensitive skin, the crocodile to hunt and regulate its body temperature. This forced proximity creates a constant, simmering tension, while they often appear to coexist peacefully, sharing the same waterholes with mutual respect. That peace is incredibly fragile. The encounters you're about to see are not random acts of violence. They are demonstrations of power, instinct, and the brutal rules governing life and death in the African wild. Let's count down the 5 most brutal encounters ever caught on camera. Coming in at number 5, we witness a clash not over food, but over prime real estate. A sunny riverbank is a vital asset. Crocodiles need it for basking, soaking up solar energy to power their cold-blooded bodies. Hippos also use the banks for rest. When that space is limited, conflict becomes inevitable. In this incredible footage, a group of crocodiles has claimed a perfect stretch of muddy bank. They lie motionless, a wall of armored scales. For most animals, this is an impenetrable fortress and a clear signal to stay away. But not for a hippo. A large female, determined to find a resting spot for herself and her calf, decides to challenge the squatters. She doesn't approach with a roar, but with a quiet, imposing confidence. The crocodiles, masters of ambush, are not used to being confronted so directly. She begins with a subtle warning, a wide, intimidating yawn that reveals her massive, tusk-like canines, which can grow up to 20 inches long. This is the hippo's first and often only warning. When the crocodiles fail to move, her demeanor shifts. With a sudden explosion of aggression, she charges. She isn't trying to bite. She's using her immense 2-ton body as a battering ram. She plows directly into the line of reptiles, scattering them like bowling pins. The crocodiles, startled by this blatant disregard for their predatory status, scramble to get out of her way. One stubborn croc receives a powerful headbutt that sends it scurrying into the water. The result is swift and decisive. The mother hippo, through sheer force of will, carves out a space on the bank. Her calf, which watched from a safe distance, now joins her. This moment perfectly illustrates a fundamental rule of the river. Possession is everything. A hippo's territorial instinct, especially with a calf to protect, will overpower any fear it might have of a crocodile. Our 4th encounter transports us to the height of the African dry season, a time of desperation and escalating tension. As rivers and lakes evaporate under the relentless sun, water becomes the continent's most precious resource. Once vast waterways shrink into crowded, muddy pools, forcing ancient rivals into dangerously close quarters. This scarcity creates a perfect storm for conflict. The scene is a claustrophobic water hole, packed with dozens of hippos seeking refuge from the heat. The air is thick with tension. Squeezed into this same tiny space is a large Nile crocodile, trapped among giants. Normally, these two species would never be packed together so tightly, but the drought has erased all boundaries. The crocodile is visibly stressed, surrounded by a churning mass of hippo flesh with no clear path to escape. The hippos, equally on edge from the heat and crowding, view the crocodile not as a predator, but as an unwelcome intruder in their shrinking sanctuary. A young calf, weakened by the harsh conditions, is especially vulnerable, and its mother is on high alert. The fight is ignited not by a single animal, but by a collective wave of agitation. A territorial bull, provoked by the croc's presence, lets out a deafening grunt and shoves the predator with its massive head. This act emboldens the others. The pod begins to move as one, a coordinated mob determined to eject the intruder. The crocodile, a fearsome apex predator, is rendered completely powerless. It's shoved, bitten, and tossed about by the enraged hippos. In one astonishing moment, the reptile is lifted clear out of the water, crowd surfing on the backs of the furious mammals as it desperately tries to reach the bank. A hippo's bite can snap a crocodile in half, so every second in that water is a life or death gamble. Miraculously, the crocodile finds a gap and makes a frantic escape, battered but alive. This encounter reveals the incredible power of a group. While one hippo is a formidable opponent, a coordinated pod is an unstoppable force. It demonstrates how extreme environmental pressure can rewrite the rules of the wild, forcing animals into desperate conflicts where the normal pecking order is turned completely upside down. At number 3, we see what happens when a crocodile's predatory instincts clash with the hippo's fierce defense of its territory. While crocodiles rarely hunt adult hippos, they are opportunists and will never pass up an easy meal. This encounter begins with a different animal in peril, a wildebeest ambushed by a crocodile during a river crossing. The crocodile has its prey in the infamous death roll, a powerful spinning maneuver used to dismember and drown its victim. The churning water is a clear sign of a successful hunt. But the commotion has attracted unwanted attention. A large bull hippo, whose territory this is clearly agitated by the violent struggle. Remember, hippos are herbivores. The wildebeest is not a potential meal. The hippo's motivation isn't hunger, but pure, unfiltered territorial rage. The chaos of the hunt is a disturbance it will not tolerate. In an act of pure dominance, the hippo ignores the wildebeest and charges directly at the crocodile. It plows into the predator with incredible force, using its massive head and gaping jaws as a weapon. The stunned crocodile is forced to release its hard-won meal. The wounded wildebeest, granted a miraculous second chance, scrambles to the riverbank and escapes. The hippo doesn't pursue it. Its only mission was to restore order. This behavior isn't an act of kindness. Scientists believe it's an extreme form of territorial defense. The hippo isn't saving the wildebeest. It's violently evicting the crocodile for causing a ruckus. This is a stunning display of the hippo's unpredictable nature. They are not just placid grass eaters. They are the aggressive, and often violent, kings of their domain. Their explosive temper means nothing happens in their stretch of the river without their permission. This next encounter is one of the most brutal and emotionally charged ever recorded, a raw display of family bonds and coordinated revenge. The trigger, the ultimate crime, a crocodile has killed a newborn hippo calf. Hippo calves are incredibly vulnerable, weighing only about 100 pounds at birth. Their primary defense is the fierce protection of their mother and the entire pod. But if a calf is separated, even for a moment, it becomes a target for any predator brave enough to risk the herd's wrath. In this case, a large crocodile seized its opportunity. The mother and the pod were just moments too late to prevent the attack. What happens next is chilling. Days later, the hippo pod spots the crocodile they hold responsible. There is an immediate, terrifying shift in their behavior. The calm of the river shatters as the pod moves with a single, unified purpose: to corner the predator. This isn't a chaotic frenzy, it's a calculated, systematic takedown. The hippos surround the crocodile, cutting off every escape route. Then, the assault begins. One by one, members of the pod lunge forward, delivering crushing bites. They use their immense weight to hold the crocodile underwater, a terrifying reversal of the crocodile's own hunting technique. The crocodile, an ancient and powerful predator, is completely overwhelmed. It thrashes helplessly, but there is no escape. The combined force of over a dozen multi-ton giants is simply too much. The revenge is absolute. This encounter is a powerful testament to the social complexity of hippos. Their response wasn't random aggression, it was a direct, targeted act of retribution, It shows that the bond within a hippopod, especially the instinct to protect and avenge their young, is one of the most powerful forces in the African wild. It is a grim lesson for the crocodile. Killing a hippo calf is making an enemy of the entire, unforgiving family. Our number 1 encounter is the ultimate display of hippo dominance. It's a legendary event from a famous spot in the Serengeti known as the Hippo Pool. This incident, caught on camera by a tourist, shows what happens when a single crocodile makes the colossal mistake of wandering into the heart of a massive hippopod group estimated to be at least 50 strong. It isn't clear how the croc ended up in such a perilous position. Perhaps it took a wrong turn or was simply trying to cross the river. Whatever the reason, it found itself completely surrounded, an unwelcome guest at a very exclusive and dangerous pool party. The reaction from the hippos is instantaneous and explosive. The water erupts as the pod turns on the intruder. This isn't a warning, it's an all-out assault. The crocodile is hit with a relentless barrage of attacks from all sides. Hippos launch themselves at the reptile, headbutting it with immense force. Others bite down, their powerful jaws clamping onto the crocodile's armor. The sounds are as dramatic as the visuals, a chorus of angry grunts and snorts echoing across the water. In the most incredible moment, the sheer force of the attack lifts the crocodile completely out of the water. It's thrown into the air, landing on the back of one hippo only to be bitten by another. For a few terrifying seconds, this apex predator is utterly helpless, a toy tossed about by giants. It is a picture of complete domination. Somehow, through a mixture of luck and sheer toughness, the crocodile manages to find a small gap in the chaos. It slips away, battered and visibly shaken, escaping a situation that would have been certain death for almost any other creature. The tourist who filmed it called it an unbelievable sighting, and he was right. This encounter is the definitive example of the power balance in Africa's rivers. It proves that while a crocodile is a master of the ambush, it is no match for the collective, territorial fury of a hippopod. When hippos unite, they are, without question, the undisputed rulers of the water. While they share the same rivers, an uneasy peace is maintained by a very clear hierarchy. The crocodile may be the silent hunter in the water, but the hippo is its undisputed landlord. And as these 5 brutal encounters have proven, any crocodile that forgets to pay its respects will be reminded, with violent and decisive force, who truly rules the river. What did you think of these incredible moments? Which encounter shocked you the most? Let us know in the comments below. And if you want to see more epic wildlife showdowns, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update.